I didn't lose $2,500 because I was reckless. I lost it because I didn't want to cause a scene. And that decision changed the entire night. This happened a few nights ago, on one of those nights when sleep just wouldn't come. I was lying in bed, scrolling through my phone, half bored and half restless, when I opened a dating app without really expecting anything. I wasn't looking for trouble. I wasn't even looking for something serious. I just didn't want to feel alone. That's when I matched with her. The conversation started casually. Nothing intense, nothing strange. Just two people awake too late, joking about insomnia and asking basic questions. At some point, she mentioned she lived nearby. I remember thinking that it felt harmless. Convenient, even. She joked about watching a movie together instead of staring at the ceiling all night, and I admitted I was dealing with the same sleeplessness. I hesitated for a moment. Meeting someone in the middle of the night isn't exactly a great idea, but she sounded normal, friendly, relaxed, and honestly, I didn't feel any immediate red flags. So I agreed. To make it easier, I ordered her an Uber to my place. While I watched the car move across the map on my phone, I felt that mix of nervous energy and curiosity you get right before something unexpected. I straightened up the apartment, turned on the TV, and tried not to overthink it. When she arrived, everything felt fine. She looked like her pictures. She smiled. We exchanged that slightly awkward first greeting, rode the elevator up, and settled in on the couch. We picked a movie, then another. We talked about random things, life, work, nothing deep. It felt easy. At some point, she asked if she could stay until morning. It didn't feel strange in the moment. It didn't feel calculated. It just felt like two people passing time together. I said yes without much thought. The night kept moving forward. Boundaries blurred the way they sometimes do late at night, when everything feels quieter and simpler than it really is. And eventually, we crossed a line I probably should have thought more carefully about. Not long after, she turned to me and said something I wasn't expecting at all. She told me she had a boyfriend. That was the exact moment I realized this night wasn't what I thought it was. I remember just sitting there, trying to process it. My brain felt a step behind the conversation. She talked fast, explaining things in a vague, dismissive way, and then suddenly said she needed to leave. Immediately, no discussion. I stayed calm. I didn't argue. I told her I'd order her an Uber home. That's when her tone changed. She said she'd handle the Uber herself and asked me to just send her the money instead. Then she sent her bank details along with a message asking for $2,000. I still thought this situation was awkward, not dangerous. I asked her what she meant, calmly, honestly confused, and that's when everything flipped. She raised her voice, told me she'd make a scene if I didn't pay, and suddenly she wasn't the relaxed, friendly person from earlier. It was like watching someone switch masks in real time. I froze. All I could think about was my building, my neighbors, the hallway, the attention. I imagined doors opening, people watching, things getting loud and ugly. I didn't want chaos. I didn't want drama. I just wanted the situation to end. I had a few seconds to choose between confrontation and silence. I chose silence. I sent the $2,000. Almost immediately, she said, "Oh, and $500 more for admin fees." At that point, my blood was boiling, but I still didn't want a scene. I sent the extra $500 just to get her out the door. The Uber arrived. She left without another word. As soon as the car pulled away, I blocked her on everything. And just like that, the night was over. I sat alone in my apartment, staring at the empty space where she'd been sitting, trying to understand how something so normal had turned into something so ugly. I felt angry, embarrassed, stupid, but more than anything, I felt shaken. The next day, I replayed everything in my head. Every message, every decision, every moment where I could have said no, or slowed things down, or trusted my instincts more. I kept thinking about how fast people can change, and how expensive avoiding conflict can be. The $2,500 hurt, but what stayed with me longer was the realization that peace isn't always free. Sometimes you pay for it up front. Sometimes you pay for it later. I didn't tell this story for sympathy. I told it because moments like this happen quietly, and people don't talk about them. And sometimes, the cost of keeping the peace isn't obvious until it's already paid. So here's my question for you. If you were in my place, would you have paid to avoid the drama, or risk the confrontation? Let me know what you would have done.